Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we are going to be reacting to Making the Case LeBron James. This is the last video in the Making the Case series that we're doing. We've done all 8, so this is the final 8. It's 31 minutes long, and you know I like to commentate on things a lot, so yeah, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be a long video. Take breaks if you want to, I don't care. But if you're going to watch a video this long for me, like, why would you watch a video this long and then just decide not to spend all the time watching this video, then not the time to spend the 1 second it takes to click a subscribe or a like button, bro? Like, come on now, you're gonna spend 38 minutes or however long this video is, but you're not gonna spend 1 second? Come on now. But yeah, Making the Case LeBron James. So if you don't know, for each player in this Making the Case series, we've done a full analysis on them by watching all their highlights, then watching a video from the Greatest Peak series by Thinking Basketball. And then we've watched their Making the Case video. So now we've done all this for LeBron except for the Making the Case video, and this will be the last episode in this Making the Case series. So yeah, let's begin Making the Case of LeBron James as the greatest player of all time.
Basketball is special. The size of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different styles that basketball allows for, players develop their own distinct identities and signature styles through their creativity, flair, and athleticism.
This intro explains why basketball is my favorite sport.
And although no player succeeds alone, the scoring volume and two-way nature of the sport give individual stars a nearly unprecedented amount of control over the flow and outcome of a game. For this reason, players are constantly compared to their peers and to the legends of the past in order to answer the most hotly contested question in the sport: who's the greatest to ever do it? For many, the question is redundant. They believe in only one right answer, their answer. Others might have their own personal stance, but acknowledge one or two alternatives. But I believe that there's much more nuance to the question of greatness and more answers to it than you might think. By my count, there are 8 players in NBA history that
I think you should have included Kobe in this.
It's a subjective.
He doesn't have a Making the Case on Kobe, but he does have a documentary series. It's basically documentaries because how well made and long they are on the Kobe. I think he's doing a 2-part. I don't know if part 2 is released yet, but I want to react to that when I do the greatest peaks and highlights for Kobe. So definitely gonna do that because Clinton Crowley. That one I haven't seen yet. If you don't know, I've seen the Making the Case series and be sure to get commentary and stuff on it. But I've not seen the Greatest Peak series before. So if you want to see first time reaction, walk to those. And obviously I haven't seen all the highlights and stuff before. So, but the Kobe one I have not seen from Clayton Crowley, so I definitely want to react to that one.
Thing though, I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can do is make the argument. So today, I'll be making the case for LeBron James as the greatest basketball player of all time.
Let's go, boys. This one's gonna get the most hate from y'all in the comments. I already know it, y'all LeBron haters.
For LeBron James.
Y'all all LeBron haters.
Michael Jordan is the GOAT. LeBron James isn't built like that. There's no way. There's no
This is y'all. This is y'all.
Get out of here. What are you talking about? LeBron. You're making a video about LeBron being the GOAT. No.
My man LeBron 14th in the poll I'm doing on the community tab, which you should vote in, by the way.
Somebody like me makes a video like this, to which a certain segment of the population reacts by getting so mad that they start to pop blood vessels. And that's a really interesting reaction to me. I've made videos about why players like Larry Bird and Tim Duncan are the GOATs. And sure, I get some, this video is garbage because MJ is the GOAT comments, but it's mostly been people having a lovely chat about the merits and nuances of those.
It's not exaggeration. There's a lot of name calling.
I don't expect that.
Same in my comment section.
But why? Why is it that LeBron?
Nah, y'all mostly cool. There's a lot of LeBron haters.
So defensive. If you are one of those volatile Jordan,
I think the reason that LeBron gets so many Jordan fans so offended is because a large segment of the population actually does believe that LeBron's the GOAT. I don't feel like Jordan fans go at Bird fans or Magic fans, Duncan fans, whatever, because they're not that big of a portion that actually believes he is the GOAT.
Defenders, and you're racing to the comments right now. I know that there's nothing.
Like I'd say around 30% of fans, I'd say around 30. At this point, it's getting close to. I would say 30 to 40% of NBA fans think LeBron's the GOAT.
Stop you. But for the rest of you, please.
That I've seen anyway.
Even if you think Jordan's the GOAT, hear what I have to say. We all still love basketball. We can all still be friends.
Basketball buddies.
when LeBron
That's cute.
James was a freshman at St. Vincent St. Mary's High School
Dang,
in
bro, man,
Akron,
looking like
Ohio,
Wembanyama.
he posted per-game averages of 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. The Irish went undefeated, 27-0, won
Younger
the
than
state
me.
championship, and
I'm
James
16.
was named the state tournament MVP.
A lot
And
taller,
just
though.
like that, the final year of anonymity for LeBron James was over. In the summer, between his freshman and sophomore years, James's play on the AAU circuit caught the eyes of every scout he encountered. Word began to spread far and wide about the man-child from Akron, Ohio.
He is the best
his
story in
sophomore
NBA
season,
history.
He saw an increase in every box score figure. His team started playing home games at the University of Akron's arena in order to seat the thousands of spectators. His team lost one game all year and won the state championship again. He became the first sophomore ever named to USA Today's All-USA First Team. He had officially entered the
My
territory
age.
of phenom.
I'm a sophomore in high
Scouts were
school.
infatuated with James for a number of reasons. He had every measurable you could want out of a 16-year-old.
I don't. It's weird seeing people your age that are like so much more accomplished than you.
Tall,
This is like the first age, like 16 is probably like the first age you can actually like say that. That like someone my age is like far more successful than me.
strong, good wingspan, off-the-charts athleticism. But he also had superb instincts.
And it just gets
a
worse the
natural
older you get.
enthusiasm for the game, an unselfish play style, preternatural passing abilities, and strong leadership qualities. Which is why, in his junior year, Sports Illustrated put LeBron on its cover. Now, this cover didn't single-handedly trigger
chosen
the
one.
outrageous expectations of LeBron James, but it certainly helped. The cover acknowledged James's unprecedented talent at such an early stage, while alluding to the expectations, hopes, and wonders that such an unbelievable talent would have to bear.
Can you imagine if this was the cover, right? And he just became like Anthony Bennett? Can you imagine if Anthony Bennett was on Sports Illustrated cover before he got drafted called The Chosen One? It very well could have happened. Though the fact that LeBron even like actually not only came to expectations, literally somehow had the greatest expectations in NBA history and somehow exceeded them, is the greatest story in NBA history, greatest storyline of all time.
Beginning his junior year, James and the Irish would play their home games almost exclusively at the University of Akron's arena. ESPN2 began broadcasting their matchups to the country, and Time Warner Cable started selling his games on pay-per-view for $7.95 a pop to the Akron populace. The hype was substantiated by more incredible play from James, who improved from year to year. As a junior, he was named to a second All-USA First Team and became the first junior to ever be named the Gatorade National Player of the Year. As a senior, he won a second National Player of the Year award and was named to an unheard-of third All-USA First.
I don't like how brands keep putting their things on this, like the Gatorade National Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American. No, just say just say the All-American team. Don't put a brand in front of it, please.
James's junior year remains the turning point of his celebrity. It was then that he went from highly touted young prospect to inheritor of the sport of basketball. And that's the thing. We as sports fans fetishize potential. The allure of the future is endless. If a player has potential, they can be anything. It hasn't happened yet, so it's still technically.
Victor Wembanyama, people say that's like every 4 years, but this one has to be like actually. Victor Wembanyama is the most hyped prospect since LeBron James, and that's just a fact. Do you think he's going to even come close to expectations? Do you think he's going to be good from what you've seen? I mean, he looks like a fucking 2K demigod.
No matter how outrageous
so unless he gets injured, he's going to be great, in my opinion.
Be. But then if they don't succeed, we label them as failures, busts. Couldn't do it, didn't pan out. Never mind the fact that we were the ones who set the expectations to begin with. Promise is a double-edged sword, and this was promise like no other. LeBron was the first real athletic prodigy of the internet era. It was the first time that the country could whip itself up into this kind of frenzy about the next big athlete in the uber-commercialized post-Jordan NBA. These days, young prospects in every sport get enough smoke blown up their asses to host a barbecue, with top 100 recruiting lists and the videos with titles calling any prospect who hits back-to-back threes the next Steph Curry. It's too much to say
Steph Curry with a 40-inch vert.
LeBron, but he was undoubtedly
Shout out
the
Lonzo
initial
Ball.
product of the hype machine
Getting
we're
a third
familiar with
surgery.
today. He was so good at such a young age, and so many people
pass,
saw him
bro.
and talked about him and heard about him that the stakes were
Defense.
clear. LeBron James could not be a 6-time NBA All-Star. He couldn't win 1 or 2 MVPs.
He had to be
couldn't be the next
top 5.
Tracy McGrady or the next Vince Carter. He had to be the face of the league and go down in history as
And somehow
one of,
did it.
if not the greatest basketball players of all time.
And he
In the
fucking
Sports
did it.
Illustrated article, the one that called him the chosen one, a label that he embraced by having it tattooed on his back, writer
That's some balls, bro. To get the chosen one tattooed on you before you even play an NBA game, bro, that's some balls.
Grant Wall
That could have gone
recognized the
really bad.
absurdity of asking if a
It's like Jason Terry, the Jet, shout out to him, Dallas Mavericks, 2011 champions. He got the Larry O'Brien championship trophy tattooed on him at the beginning of the 2011 season, which was insane because the Mavs had like the 9th best odds to win the championship. So like imagine someone like, I don't know, like who's probably the 9th best odds, like the Clippers or the Clippers are maybe like imagine someone on like someone who would be really unexpected to win the championship this year. That's like still kind of possible, like the Cavs or someone to get it tattooed on them at the beginning of the season and then they actually win the championship. It was insane. Terry did ruin it, though, by getting a championship tattoo when he went to the Celtics and when he went to the Nets, which was not good. He got dunked on by LeBron. Yeah, so he kind of ruined it. That could have happened with LeBron, bro. He could have chosen one tattooed on him, and he became freaking, Darko Milicic.
17-year-old who still couldn't buy cigarettes was really the heir to the next generation of basketball. But after seeing LeBron and talking to him, Wall concedes that it was, indeed, the right question. Was it ever? In the 2004 NBA draft, LeBron James was the first overall selection by his hometown Cleveland.
LeBron James, born the same year Michael Jordan came into the NBA, the same year Jordan retired, and then break the scoring record in the year 23. And Michael Jordan retired, and LeBron was drafted in the year 2003. Kind of interesting, no?
Cleveland Cavaliers. He was selected ahead of college standout Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, who had just led Marquette to the Final Four,
both of his future teammates,
All-American, college basketball's Player of the Year, T.J. Ford, and Carmelo Anthony, who had just led Syracuse to an NCAA championship.
Carmelo Anthony very arguably should have won Rookie of the Year. I'm pretty sure he won Rookie of the Month, like damn near, if not every single month, and didn't win Rookie of the Year. That's pretty crazy.
LeBron, out of high school.
Also future teammate, just not very good because it was on the freaking 2022 Lakers.
Went ahead of all of them with the weight.
Carmelo Anthony, I feel like, should be in the NBA now. I feel like he wasn't bad last year. He was like, wasn't he a higher overall than Westbrook last year in 2K at least? Like, I don't understand how he's not on a team.
Of a franchise.
We'll take him on the Mavs.
A city, and perhaps a league on his 18-year-old shoulders. As the most anticipated basketball player since Lou Alcindor, LeBron James could not falter. What if he'd failed? What if the $100 million shoe deals and the celebrity and the fame had been too much too soon? And honestly, how wasn't it? How did LeBron not?
I don't understand how LeBron has not had like a single big scandal. Like, it's insane.
Mess it all up.
John Morant's in like year 4 already. But he can't handle it.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the incredible things that he's done since with his platform as the country's most famous athlete. He's spurred and advocated social change, especially in the realm of civil rights, from Trayvon Martin's shooting to the Black Lives Matter movement. He has been an indispensable source of goodwill and good fortune for his community.
I just sneezed so hard my headphones came off. That ain't never happened to me before.
The era of player empowerment in the NBA. He didn't just defy.
Could be argued as a good or bad thing. Player empowerment typically good, but super teams.
The odds by not becoming a complete nutcase. He has leveraged his position, set an
Bronny's ranked 9th. The 2024 class, I think.
Incredible example, and has been one of the best role models that any child or parent could ever ask for. He's still playing, which means that all of these accolades are subject to change, and likely will. But the only assumptions I'll be making are that LeBron finished within at least the top 5 of MVP voting this year and made first team All-NBA. Which means he has been named to 13 All-NBA first teams and 16 total All-NBA teams.
Has he made the All-NBA first? No, he probably didn't make it 2021 or 2022.
Both records demonstrating his unbelievably
prolonged crap, I didn't mean to do that.
reign.
1 second. I need to catch what you said. Go back, you stupid computer. Okay.
which means he has been named to 13 All-NBA first teams and 16 total All-NBA teams.
Yeah, he's definitely made it. Because this, okay, so he just said, assuming in 2020 that he made the first team, so 2021, 2022, he definitely made it both times to an All-NBA team. And he probably will this year. So that's now 19 All-NBA teams every year of his career, except probably his rookie year. Insane.
Both records demonstrating his unbelievably prolonged reign over the sport. He's won 4 MVPs and
by far, not even close greatest longevity in NBA history. It's not even a remotely close competition. There's no one else you can even argue having the greater longevity.
5 years, a feet only matched by Bill Russell.
4 MVPs
and
in 5
finished
years.
in the top 5 of MVP voting.
Do you guys think he should have won MVP 2011 over D Rose?
In all but 3 of his 17 seasons. He's been selected.
If he wins that MVP, he wins 5 MVPs in a row, so that's pretty crazy.
To 16 All-Star games, 6 All-Defensive teams, and stands at or near the top of multiple
6 all-defensive teams people don't mention.
all-time.
Can you not fucking do that? Okay. 6 all-defensive teams. It almost won DPOY 2013. People need to
6
talk about that more.
all-defensive teams. And
well, not more,
at or near
but
the top of multiple
people who don't like LeBron never mention that.
All-time statistical leaderboards that demonstrate his all-around proficiency.
Has become the all-time leading scorer since the video came out.
Playoff points scored to career assists. He has achieved such a universal and unique statistical position for a number of reasons. Namely among them, LeBron James is the best basketball player of all time. When James Naismith nailed a peach basket to a wall in a gym in Massachusetts, there was no way he could have ever imagined the game as it is today. And there is no way, not in his wildest dream.
Why do we keep showing highlights against the Mavs? How do you show 2 highlights and happen to be against the same team? Come on now.
He could have ever
what are the
imagined
chances?
An athlete like LeBron. The guy is 6'8", 260. Built like Karl Malone, passes like Larry Bird, jumps like Michael, and surveys the court like Magic Johnson. He's not the strongest or the fastest, but he's faster than the strongest and stronger than the fastest. He has a cocktail of cerebral perception and hand-eye coordination that has made him one of the premier passers in league history. He has
top
a
5 passer
7-foot
all
wingspan,
time.
a lightning-quick first step, supernatural anticipation, and an IQ on both ends of the court that comes from the brain of basketball's Da Vinci. It would be enough if LeBron had just built a name and career for himself thanks to his prodigious natural talents. But he worked diligently, year in and year out, to improve himself as a basketball player.
Guarding Tim Duncan.
Criticism for not using his Herculean frame to lock down opponents.
He's LeBron James is so versatile, bro. He's played he's played a full season at every position except for center. He played shooting guard. He played point guard in 2020 when he won the championship with the Lakers, and 2021. He played shooting guard his rookie season, played small forward most of his career, played power forward in actually his 2 best seasons, 2013 and 2018. He played power forward, and he's playing power forward this year. No, wait. He might be playing small forward this year. He played power forward in 2022. So center is the only position that he's never started a full season with. Though he has started games at center in 2022 when the Lakers were really down bad, you know.
And so, he became a lethal defender and was twice the runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. Opponents would exploit James'
what was the other year's runner-up for DPOY?
by assigning
2013,
smaller,
but
quicker defenders. He spent the summer with Hakeem Olajuwon and became a back-down bully. To better space the floor and accommodate the modern style of basketball, he needed to improve his streaky jump shot. He became a master of efficiency, and at his best was a 40% three-point shooter.
Which people don't mention.
Aspect of basketball that
peak LeBron James is a 41% three-point shooter. No, people don't mention that.
Is not superb at. It's a silly hypothetical, but I think it serves my point to say that a team of 5 LeBrons would beat a team of 5 of anybody else. He always had the whole package, but he never stopped.
That's one of the most insane plays in NBA history. People don't even talk about that one.
Insanely long time. He's been probably the best basketball player in the world since 2008 or 2009. And if your life came down to one game, he's still one of the first calls you'd make at age 35 in year 17. He can do anything, does everything, and he's never had a truly significant injury. It wasn't until 2019 that he missed a substantial amount of time because of a groin injury. And
yeah, it wasn't until last
with
2 years.
And some occasional back trouble, LeBron has never been a liability in that department. He has the 4th highest scoring average in NBA history, and with the way basketball is played today, he can defend point guards and centers alike. Add all
our
of
Derrick
that
Rose
to
and
a
Pau
tireless
Gasol.
work ethic, an unselfish play style, and a penchant for big moments, and you get the queen of the chessboard. When it comes to playing basketball, he is the best at it. Hold on. I think I hear something. It's the sound of Skip Bayless's
in the comment section.
losing
It's
their
y'all.
shit in my comment section. Best player ever. Big moments? No way. LeBron's terrible in the clutch. He hates taking the last shot. He doesn't have the killer
Mustache
instinct.
LeBron.
He doesn't have what it takes to come through in crunch time. I don't know where this got started or how it's been able to persist.
LeBron James is
but
one of the
that
most clutch
sentiment
players
is
in NBA
just
history.
Actually untrue. There is an
It's true.
overwhelming amount of evidence to
Other than 2011. The only exception. And it's a big exception, don't get me wrong, but that's the
support
only exception.
LeBron's clutch ability and killer instinct. There's statistics that show that James is clutch. Evidence, analytics, stuff made by people who know how to do math and use calculators and stuff. And if you don't believe them because they're nerds and because basketball isn't just about numbers, then just look at the dude's results. He's hit clutch shots in the regular season.
This is the most insane clip. Because he missed the layup like 5 seconds earlier, and it's that.
And he's hit clutch shots in the playoffs.
Oh, this is insane. This is all in 2018, these last few clips. One of the most insane
Don't
playoff
tell me
runs.
that he can't win games or doesn't have a
Oh my
killer
God, that
instinct,
shot
or
over
isn't
the
clutch
backboard.
or any of that shit. He spent a lot of time playing in the biggest games too in an absolutely loaded league.
8
In the
straight
playoffs,
finals.
He has faced Gilbert Arenas, Chauncey Billups, Tim Duncan, Tony Parker.
Hold up.
In the playoffs,
Let's go through
he
the
has
players.
faced Gilbert Arenas,
Really good scorer in his prime.
Chauncey
Finals
Billups,
MVP.
Tim
Greatest power forward of all
Duncan,
time.
Tony
Finals
Parker,
MVP.
Manu
Possibly the greatest 6th man of all time.
Ginobili, Kawhi
Led Argentina to a freaking gold medal. 2-time Finals MVP, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
James
MVP,
Harden,
3-time scoring
Russell.
champion. MVP, triple-double in 4 seasons. 2-time scoring champion, 2-time assist champion. Only player to have multiple assist titles and scoring titles.
Westbrook,
Which is insane.
Kevin
One of the greatest players of all time. 2-time champion, 2-time Finals MVP, regular season MVP, 4-time
Durant,
scoring
Ray
champion. The greatest shooter of all time before Steph Curry showed up. 2-time
Allen,
champion.
Paul
One of them with LeBron. One of them with LeBron, to be fair. Finals MVP,
Pierce, Kevin
MVP,
Garnett, Dirk
Finals MVP, and MVP.
Nowitzki, Dwight
3-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Howard, Derrick
MVP.
Rose,
Both were All-Stars on the same team. Hawks had 4 All-Stars in the 2015 season, which is
Horford and
insane.
Paul Millsap, Steph
The greatest shooter of all time, the greatest point guard of all time, my opinion. Just my opinion.
Curry, Klay
You don't go argue with that, me in the comment section. Klay Thompson, second greatest shooter of all time.
Thompson, Drake,
The greatest defender of our generation. Don't at
Draymond
me.
Green,
Actually, do at me. I love arguing with people in the comment section. It's kind of fun. A good duo, an all-star duo,
DeRozan,
those
Kyle
two.
Lowry, Paul
Underrated player, probably I think should have made the NBA 75 team.
George, Vic,
All-star,
Oladipo,
one of the greatest point guards of our
Damian Lillard,
generation and shooters of all time,
so on.
and so
And the
on.
players he's faced haven't just been eye-popping. He's lined up against some of the vaunted teams and franchises in NBA lore. He played the Spurs, the most successful post-Jordan franchise in basketball, 3 times in the finals. And then he faces the Warriors in 4 straight finals.
Faced 2 great
LeBron's
dynasties.
Teams always seem to be overachievers. In his first 7 seasons in Cleveland, his best teammate by a mile was Mo Williams.
Mo Williams, one-time All-Star.
Mo
Yeah, I knew it.
Williams.
One-time
The Cavs
All-Star.
front office can't be faulted for
A pretty good player that could have been with LeBron.
get LeBron help.
was when he was on the first stint with Cleveland was Carlos Boozer. He was with LeBron his rookie season, but then he went to the Jazz. If he would have stayed with Cleveland, he was like a perennial all-star, and he made actually the Redeem team in 2008. He could have been a pretty solid number 2 next to LeBron. And considering how far they got with Mo Williams, their second best player, that could have led them. Carlos Boozer. It sounds stupid to say Carlos Boozer would have led them up, but Carlos Boozer was a good player in his prime, and he could have led them pretty far.
Teammate by a mile. Was
That's
Mo
just a second
Williams.
option.
Yeah. One-time All-Star.
Like how
Mo
big
Williams.
LeBron did it basically by
The
himself.
Cavs front office can't be faulted for not trying to get LeBron.
They got old Shaq.
But they certainly deserve some
2010.
criticism for failing to actually get him help. Anderson Varejao, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Larry Hughes, Drew Gooden, Eric Snow, Old Shaq, Ben Wallace's corpse. None of them.
Ben
were
Wallace's
really
corpse,
bona
yeah.
fide quality
You got prime Ben
contributors
Wallace, that'd be
who,
good
in the
help,
roles
but
they were
or prime
supposed to
Shaq,
fill,
obviously,
could
but
compete and win a championship
Nope.
against the Spurs or the Celtics. The Cavs' entire philosophy during his first stint in the land was, he's so damn good, we'll just bank on him putting up ungodly numbers and carrying us to a win every single night.
Which he did.
Usually somehow did. And when he left, look at
2010's Mavs. Just kidding. We got Kyrie Irving now, so fuck
how
y'all.
the Cavs floundered. From a league high 61 wins to 19, the
That's
second
insane.
worst record in the league.
That's
Nothing
an insane
exemplified
difference.
the plight of LeBron more than Game 5 of the 2007 Eastern Conference Finals.
Possibly his
With the
greatest game
series
ever.
Tied at 2 games apiece, LeBron and the Cavs were trying to pull off an upset against the former champion Detroit Pistons nucleus on their home court. With around 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter and the Cavs down 7, LeBron got fouled on a drive, and so began one of the most impressive stretches of basketball ever played in any series by any player. To say that James, at age 22, proceeded to take over the game feels like an undersell. He scored 29 of the Cavs' final 30 points, including 25 in a row. He was transcendent.
25 in a row is
48 points
crazy.
After 2 overtimes and the game-winning layup. It
Look
was
at
a
this.
performance for the ages, but it was also almost entirely necessary. When the Cavs played the Spurs in the finals that year, they lost because a 22-year-old LeBron couldn't beat the Pop,
I don't
Parker, Manu,
I don't care what you say. No player in NBA history, if you place them with LeBron, is winning against the Spurs. Not even, and I don't think any players even come close if you place them with LeBron. Michael Jordan does not be in the damn San Antonio Spurs. All right, it's the same as him going against the damn '86 Celtics. All right, or the freaking it's the same as basically him going against the '86 Celtics. Just him going against the dominant dynasty with no teammates, basically. It's just that LeBron had a way easier Eastern Conference. He didn't have to face them in the first round. You know, and he didn't break his foot, so he actually got to get his team to a higher seed, so he didn't have to face big teams early. But yeah, his performance against the Pistons that year, and the Pistons they could have been a dominant dynasty. They made I believe 6 straight conference finals, because they lost to the Nets 2003 conference finals, made the finals 2004, won the championship, made the finals 2005. Lost to the Heat in the conference finals 2006, lost to the Cavs conference finals 2007, and lost to the Celtics conference finals 2008. So they could have been a dominant dynasty. They got shut down by players like LeBron and the Spurs in 2005, and then D-Wade and stuff,
Duncan Spurs by himself. Shame on him.
Maybe they wouldn't have been a dynasty if they tried to Carmelo Anthony.
So
Or
is there
Dwayne
any
Wade, or Chris
surprise that
Bosh.
he wanted to go to a real team like Miami, where he didn't have to do everything? And make no mistake, it's not like he didn't still have his Atlas moments with the Heat. Game 6 of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals. The Heat are down
Yep.
3-2.
Possibly his
coming
greatest game
off of
ever
the
as well.
decision in the 2011 Finals, LeBron and the Heat were
His legacy is ruined if he doesn't have this game. If he goes to the Heat and loses both years, and the second year he doesn't even make the finals, his legacy is ruined. He had to put on his greatest game ever for his legacy to continue.
In Boston, the Celtics had the chance to send the LeBron, Wade, Bosh Heat out by the historical wayside as a catastrophic failure. But then LeBron put on
That
this
face.
and picked the
That
Celtics
damn face.
apart. He had 30 points in
Bop.
the first half. In classic
30 in
LeBron
the first
fashion,
half.
he was everywhere doing everything. He sucked the oxygen out of the arena and never gave it back, coming through with an all-time performance in maybe the most important game of his career.
Yeah, man. It's insane.
2013 Finals, Games 6 and 7. Leading the fourth quarter charge in Game 6, hitting a crucial 3 with 20 seconds left to set up Ray Allen's legendary shot.
People in that game talk about, oh, Ray Allen saved his legacy. Yeah, he hit the biggest shot, but the only reason they were in the game in the first place because LeBron fueled a really big comeback at the end. They shot like that.
37, 12, and 4, plus the series icing jumper in Game
Yeah,
7.
and 37 in the Game 7, including this. The dagger! Bang!
4-point lead. 35 for LeBron James.
The
Oh, and
games, series, and runs that he's had
No,
will
not the
someday
Jet.
fill their own.
That's alright, we got a
multi-part
championship.
documentary.
We got a
We'll
championship,
talk
it's
about
fine.
a few more later, but the overall theme is undeniable. LeBron has lived in the playoffs and thrived under the brightest of lights, despite the unique brand of scrutiny, doubt, and criticism that is his. But none of that matters to you because of three things. The sources of so much of that doubt and criticism. The 2010 Eastern Conference semifinals, the decision, and the 2011 finals. All three events happened within the span of about 400 days.
That was
It
like,
started
yeah,
with
that was
the
a
second
3
round of
season
the 2010
period.
playoffs, Boston versus Cleveland. Despite having the best record in the league, the Cavs lost in 6 to the Pierce KG Ray Allen Celtics. LeBron's numbers look okay, but if you remember watching at the time, or you go back now and watch,
19 rebounds
you
is
can
crazy.
tell that LeBron's just not there. He's checked out. No aggression, no urgency.
Because Delonte West fucked his mom.
Stretches of total detachment. He was a no-show. And no one still knows definitively why, but salacious
West.
rumors persist that you can look up for yourself. Whatever the reason, the loss amped the noise around LeBron up to new levels. He can't do it. He doesn't have it. The basketball world prepared itself for one of the most consequential free agent decisions ever. What they got was the decision. A 1-hour nationally televised special. LeBron was going to announce his decision on live TV. How could this
Insane.
go wrong?
The answer to the question everybody
Can you
wants.
imagine this happening nowadays?
LeBron,
Oh my god.
what's your decision?
In this fall, man.
Imagine if Katie did this.
In this fall,
He'll be so mad.
Towns to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
The best basketball player in the world dumped his hometown team, the most tortured sports city in America, live on television to join a super team with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He had quit
Insane.
on Cleveland in the playoffs and followed it up with the mother of all backstabs. The decision remains perhaps the single
I think at this-
meanest thing an athlete has
I think at this moment he was the most hated player in NBA history.
ever done to their franchise. It was mindless, shallow, insulting, and egotistical in a profound way. LeBron quickly went from one of the most popular and celebrated athletes in the country to its most hated. Cavs owner Dan Gilbert published an infamous letter tearing
yes.
James apart. Fans burned his jersey in the streets. Conversations about how LeBron was wired and whether he could be the guy flooded the airwaves. But the funny thing was, I don't think anyone really faulted him for wanting out of Cleveland. It was clear that he didn't get the help that a superstar needs in order to capitalize on
It's
the
just
talent.
where he went and how he did
Criticism
it.
was first and foremost with the execution, doing it in a self-aggrandizing live TV special.
Yeah.
Criticism quickly turned into nonsensical, inane cliches and false narratives. The same LeBron that was getting praised for his ability to cultivate camaraderie and success on abhorrent teams was now being criticized for not making his teammates fear him.
Whatever that means. Yeah, he said the
Was
same
the
thing.
decision the dumbest thing LeBron
Look
could
at
have
save.
done? Yes. Was it a knife in the back of the community that had supported him as he ascended from chosen one to superstar? Yes. Was most of this criticism of his mental makeup and desire to win baseless and spiteful? Also, yes. But it probably didn't feel that way for a lot of NBA fans at the time. They
Got the
hated
championship,
him.
though.
He had quit on and betrayed his team. So when the Heat lost the 2011 finals,
Damn right.
Heat boners raged in full force. And the Heat didn't just lose because the Mavs were better. They lost because LeBron choked. His scoring average plummeted to 17 points a game, down from 26 during the regular season. And
8
of those
points.
17 points a game, only 3 came during the fourth quarter, which is especially damning considering how tight the series was. James turned himself into public enemy number 1, promised a
Sean Marion should have been the 2011 Finals MVP. Fight me.
jewelry box's worth of rings, and when the world was watching, completely flopped. There are no excuses. I can't tell you actually LeBron played really well, or that his team let him down. He sucked. He let them down, and they lost. It's a fact. Should it define him forever? No. Because if we take a trip into yesteryear, we can look at a young point
Trag-
guard on the Los Angeles Lakers in the 1984
Tragic Johnson.
finals by the name of Irvin Magic Johnson. The series was the first championship meeting between Larry Bird and Magic since their record-breaking collegiate showdown. The two were now the faces of a surging NBA, revitalized thanks to their mastery and rivalry. What did Magic do? He choked. Pretty hard. In Game 2, he dribbled out the final 11 seconds in regulation of a tied game without putting up a shot. The Lakers lost in overtime.
That's actually.
In Game 4,
Can you imagine how clowning people would be if like LeBron did that? Tie game, he just dribbles out the damn clock.
Magic had his pass picked off with 4
Y'all would be
seconds
clowning
left
him so
in
hard.
regulation of a tied game. Then in overtime, missed both free throws with 35 seconds left.
Nick
with the
Anderson
score
type
tied
beat.
again.
Grant Williams
Lakers
type beat.
lost. In Game 7, Magic turned the ball over twice in the final 90
Grant
seconds
Williams,
of
I'll
a
make 'em both.
tightly contested game. The Lakers lost. Basketball writers were ruthless and cutting. The fact was, he
Larry
didn't
Bird
have
better
what
than
it
Magic
took to
Johnson,
come
by the
through
way.
in the big moments, despite previous evidence to the contrary. And that's not how we remember Magic Johnson. We remember him as a player who came
won
through in
three-
big games,
three more championships
had
after
big
that.
performances, and who you wanted to have the ball when the game got close. Could it be because he
Maybe
led the
Skyhook.
Lakers to 3 championships after his '84 meltdown?
Yeah.
So why is it that some people's opinions on LeBron James haven't changed in the last 9 years?
Right.
How were 3 championships and 7 more consecutive finals not
I don't understand when people say LeBron's not clutch. Like, yeah, at 2011 he was not clutch, but everything since then he's very clearly he's been clutch since then. There's no evidence him not being clutch since then. I don't
some
understand.
sort of redemption because of this right here, the Magic Bullet, 3-6
Now 4-6, won a championship with the Lakers and Finals MVP since this video.
in finals series. Not that he's won 3 championships, or that he's made 9 finals, or that he's spent almost the entire decade of the 2010s playing June basketball. It's that he's made it 9 times and lost 6 times. Would it be better
He
if he were
context on the
3-0
losses.
or 3-3? It is not a meaningful or insightful conversation in any capacity to boil down a player's entire career, his contributions, strengths, weaknesses, and subtleties to just his record in the NBA Finals. How
Right.
is it that making it to the finals and losing is worse than not making it at all? If
Right.
you take the time to actually look at how he ended up in those series and what he actually did in them, I have no idea how you could misconstrue his finals performances as a hindrance to his case. We talked about 07, 11, 12, and 13. Of those 4, the first was a loss to a team with an actual roster and head coach.
No, he was
The
winning that.
second was a loss that
Was
can
his
be
fault.
pinned entirely on James, and the last 2 were victories. In 2014, the Spurs played absolutely divine basketball. You cannot play the game better. LeBron and Chris Bosh were the only players on the roster who showed up. Nobody else, either because of age or mileage, could handle the physical toll of a 4th straight finals. LeBron led the Heat in every stat but blocks. He averaged 28, 7, and 4 while shooting 57, 51, 79 splits.
Yeah, not
As
his
Mike
fault.
Tyson said to Sports Illustrated, the Spurs won because they deserved
Once again, I don't think if you put replace Jordan with LeBron there, he's winning.
not because of what LeBron didn't do. You're out of your mind if you think that the 2015 finals is a black mark on LeBron's legacy. The Cavs lost Kevin Love in the first round and Kyrie Irving in Game 1 of the finals against the Warriors.
Once again, no way he was
LeBron
winning
so
this.
supremely
You put
impressive
Jordan here,
that
he's not winning.
Cleveland actually had a prayer of winning the series, which garnered him finals MVP votes despite being on the losing team. His averages were unreal, and Andre Iguodala won the
Okay, granted, he did average 36, 13, and 9, which is insane to be fair. But people always argue, oh, why did Andre Iguodala get Finals MVP for guarding LeBron when LeBron averaged 36? Like, he didn't really guard him that well. Well, most of those was because he had like 3 straight 40-point games to start the series. And then they put Andre Iguodala on him the last 3 games, and he was putting up big scoring numbers. He was the only one shooting. But his efficiency went way down. I believe he shot under 40% in the series. So, I mean, holding someone, yeah, he averaged 36 points, but he shot under 40%. So, holding LeBron James, one of the most efficient scorers in NBA history, to Allen Iverson shooting statistics, I think that's, I mean, I think he's decently deserving of the Finals
award
MVP.
specifically because he
think-
kept LeBron
thinking Iguodala
from
gets slandered too
doing more
much.
damage. In 2017, after a super weird regular season, the Cavs flipped the switch and cruised to the final.
2017 and 18. No way. I don't care if you put LeBron James. I don't care if you put Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on the damn team, bro. They're not beating the Steph Curry, Kevin Durant
Against
Warriors.
The new look Warriors with Kevin Durant. LeBron became the first player to average a triple-double in the finals, but
34, 12, and 10 in the finals, and lost in 5. Like, what was he meant to do? I don't know what you might expect out of the guy. Larry Bird, actually, to be fair, averaged a triple-double if you round up in the 20, which we always do, by the way. You always got to round up. Come on now. Averaged a triple-double in the 86 finals, where he won the finals MVP, which, if you round up, would be the first time someone averaged triple-double and won the championship the same season
the
in the
Cavs
finals.
lost in 5, keeping the Warriors from sweeping their way through the entire playoffs. In 2018, without Kyrie, LeBron had a run that was eerily similar to his 2007.
One of the greatest finals runs of all
Game
time.
winners, crazy numbers, game
If
7,
not the best.
the whole thing. The
Not the
culmination
best,
of the run
they won it,
happened in
but
Game 1 of the
insane.
finals when LeBron scored an earth-shattering 51 points, giving the Cavs a chance.
LeBron James had arguably the greatest finals game in NBA history and lost because of J.R. Smith. 51, 8-8 against arguably the greatest team in NBA history at Golden State than J.R. Smith.
Chance to take a 1-0 lead in the series.
J.R. Smith. I was going to say full name, no idea what J.R. stands for, not going to lie to you.
And then this happened.
Rebound goes to the Cavs. J.R. Smith brings it back out. Throws it to Hill. Hill shot blocked.
For the past
If he
13
would've-
years in a row, every team
If he would have won Game 1, it would have been like Allen Iverson beating the 2001 Lakers in Game 1 with the step over, dropping like 48 points in overtime. It would have been insane. But then J.R.
that
Smith.
LeBron James has played
But
on
then J.R.
has been
Smith.
in contention to win the championship regardless of the roster around him. We're not going to
That's
play
true.
the what-if game, but he's proven that he doesn't need the league's all-time leading scorer as a teammate or the Zen master
Magic.
as a coach. He also
Jordan.
doesn't need
Kobe.
time off between finals. It took him 8 straight finals before he finally wore down. Give
8
him
straight
any
finals is
coach,
nuts.
Give him any teammates. And by the sheer brilliance of his play, your team is now a championship contender. And I don't have to make the argument that 3 rings is more than 5 or 6 or 11, because that's not how we evaluate these players. We don't just look at ring totals. Otherwise, Robert Horry would be on Mount Rushmore. Yes, it's all
Robert Horry is a good player, though. People talk like he's trash. He was actually he was actually a really good role player. Okay, he was arguably like the third or second best player. He was arguably like the third best player on the 94 or 95
about
Rockets.
winning, but it's really not. We
And
try
on the
to
2000 Lakers.
synthesize things like play style, competition, success, achievements, accolades, and the like into a more cohesive and complete picture. Just asking, did they win, when trying to argue for the greatest basketball player of all time is the wrong question, because, it's a team sport. The better question to ask is which player gave their team the best chance to win? Who meant the most to their
Good
teams?
point.
And the answer to that question is LeBron James. Is there any better example of this than the 2016 finals? What other player in that situation would have been able to do what LeBron did? He didn't try to will his team to victory by just jacking up shots. He picked his spots perfectly, got his teammates involved, and inspired a belief that they could win despite the odds. The
Greatest
series is
finals
the
of all
perfect
time.
testimony to the value of LeBron James. They were facing the 73-9 Warriors, the
73
best
and
record
9.
in NBA history.
Best storyline in NBA
Single-digit
history, this
losses
one
in an
season.
82-game season. Cap it off with a title, and they instantly have a claim as the best basketball team ever. And after the first 4 games of the series, they have a 3-1 lead. No team in that position had ever lost. That lead in that series has proven throughout history to be insurmountable. Game 5 in Oakland. Kyrie shoots 70% from the floor to rack up 41 points. LeBron matches him with 41 of his own, plus
Luka and Kyrie, future
16
champions.
rebounds and 7 assists. Tristan Thompson is the only other Cavalier in double digits. Game 6 in Cleveland. LeBron spearheads a blowout with another 41-point performance.
Back-to-back
8
41
rebounds
points.
and 11 assists.
It's funny because he dropped 41, and then people were like, oh, he only dropped 41 because Draymond Green got suspended. The next game, he got 41 again.
To go along with it. The momentum of the series has palpably shifted.
Game 7.
Game 7 had legacy bursting at its seams. Something historic was going to happen, no matter how the game ended. Either the Warriors were about to cap off the most successful basketball season ever, or the Cavs were going to do the unthinkable. A 3-1 comeback, their first franchise title, Cleveland's first championship in 52 years, all made possible by LeBron James. A Cleveland win in Game 7 represented the single most significant feat that any player has ever achieved. The most anticipated high school basketball player in a lifetime, who became the chosen one 45 minutes
chills,
away
bro.
from the team that would draft him, who took
What'd I
that
say,
team
bro?
to brand new heights,
Greatest storyline in NBA history. What'd I say?
who broke that city's heart in an astonishing way, came back to try to make things right, and was now one game away from fulfilling his promise in an unprecedented comeback against a record-breaking opponent. He isn't Michael Jordan. Don't expect him to be. He's not Magic Johnson either. He's not Larry Bird or Bill Russell or Wilt Chamberlain. He's LeBron James, the most valuable basketball player ever. The most complete basketball player who's ever lived. The greatest basketball player of all time.
That ending, bro, gives you chills, man. Gives you chills, just the review of it all. Alright, so that is it for Making the Case for LeBron James. That's it for the Making the Case series. So, comment if you think the GOAT, if you think it's LeBron's the GOAT, or if you think, just comment any of the arguments I said in this video, and, yeah.